press box. Here with me is the warrior, Gregg, also the winner of the ring game, first day here in Louisville at the Derby City Classic. Hi Brian, how you doing?
Good.
It's a pleasure to have you here on the show. So obviously you played it in the ring game. Can you tell the folks at home exactly how it was structured?
It was start out for $100 a bank. We put up a total of $3,000 a piece. The bet progressed every 2 games to $200 a bank, to $400 a bank, to $800 a bank, and so forth. And as you were minus money on your account, you were eliminated at 0, obviously. And the winner took all, $18,000.
Wow. So out of the gate, I heard you had a pretty impressive run. Having lucked out in having the first break, you ended up running 7, I heard. Is that
7.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That actually was a good momentum swing right out of the gate.
That's $3,500 in your pocket, correct?
Absolutely. And pressure's on them.
Right.
You know, I run a 7 out of the gate, and they're minus so much off their account. They start missing balls, and I keep swinging. I was fortunate.
And who was the toughest challenge for you in that ring game?
I actually was worried more about Louis DeMarco.
Really?
Being a first-time
over Shannon Dolan.
Actually, I was, yeah. And in previous years, I've been in the finals with Shannon 2 times in a row, and I would say that he's probably the best all-around player. But Louis, he's a good banker. I played him 2 or 3 times for the money. Mm-hmm. And he's capable of doing a lot of stuff. And he's first-timer.
Right.
The first-timers always tend to do very
And who was
well
the second last in the game to get who got second in the ring game?
Shannon.
Shannon the
Dalton.
Cannon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how are you doing in the tournament so far?
I've only had 1 match. My second match is tomorrow at 11 o'clock. But it feels a little bit better to win that. So now I got a little momentum going.
Right.
Hopefully I can.
Do you know who you play?
I'm not for sure until in the morning.
Okay.
Draw.
All right. What do you do to prepare for an event like this?
It's really weird you ask that because I never practice.
Like me.
I raised 3 kids. I work 60 hours a week.
Wow.
I do try to play a little bit 2 or 3 days before I come, and just get the swing of it and just hope I do good. It's paid off in the last 5 or 6 weeks because I've won a bunch of tournaments here lately. So.
Okay. So who do you think is in contention for the all-around this year in 2008?
As far as
like Efren,
the good players, Efren
obviously
his bank game's improving year by year.
Right.
Tony Chohan, he's playing good.
Yeah, he's banking phenomenal.
Shannon Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
You got Alex Pegline that's back in the picture. He hasn't been around for a couple of years.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what he's been up to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's a lot of good players out there. A lot of good shots. If I can do good in the bank, I got a good chance.
Right.
But I got to do good in the bank.
Right.
So that's the only game I probably play really well. The other games I'm average.
Right. And you said you actually have a hobby besides shooting pool. You had a roast in the oven today?
Absolutely. Had a lot of friends up there eating too afterwards. We were celebrating. It had went on since noon.
It's a little dry by now at home.
Yeah.
I know to say. All right. Well, there you go, folks at home. If you work 60 hours a week, you can still win $18,000 in a day playing pool. Thanks for being here, Brian.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me give you a little wrap up on the day. We had 456 entries in the bank pool that kicked off at 10 a.m. Well, the draw was at 10. The players meeting was at noon and it kicked off at 1. The notables were Ralph Souquet, Cliff Joyner, Francisco Bustamante, Larry Neville, Sean Putnam, Jeremy Jones, Charlie Bryant, Charlie Williams, last year's winner, Stevie Moore. For the banks, that is. We're on to the banks today. Tony Chohan, David Matlock, Buddy Hall, Billy Palmer, Louis Ulrich, Gregg, and Mr. 403, John Schmidt, Jason Kirkwood, Alex Pegline, Efren Reyes, Corey Duell, Jose Perica, Alan Hopkins, Ike Reynolds from Chicago, Gabe Owens, Shin Young Park, and Stan Toronto and Tyler Eady from Canada. And to note, this year, women were allowed to play. The WPBA did sanction this event for the women, so we had some notable women show up. Karen Kaur won her first match. Monica Webb and Helena Tornfeld won their first match. Sarah Rousey didn't slid through on her first match. She struggled today. And the last year's all-around winner for the women was Bora Jean from Korea. It was one of Shin Young Park's proteges, students, who also won her first match, is in also contention for the women's all-around this year. Jeanette Lee will be here for the one pocket and the banks, and is elected to not play in the, she's playing the one pocket and in the 9-ball. She elected not to play the banks because there's a 3-cushion women's tournament starting tomorrow. Also today, some upsets and great matches was George Breedlove defeated Niels Fahan. Jason Miller, our 2006 all-round champion, got beat. Grady Matthews lost to Mark Mario. And Glenn Rogers from Chicago, otherwise known as Piggy Banks, student Larry Woods from Chicago defeated Johnny Archer in a Hill match. So it was an upset for Archer, but he can rebuy and get back in tomorrow. Sean Putnam defeated Chris Bartram. Tough match to draw first round at the Banks here in Louisville, in the Derby City. But yeah, that was a close one. He was up 2-0, ended up making it Hill, Chris did, and it was 3-3 in the last game. It was a clutch, and Sean took it down. So tomorrow, play resumes at 11 a.m. It's the third round will be drawn in the afternoon. Tough match for Scott Frost. Will be playing Shane Van Boning from South Dakota. And at 8 p.m. we will kick off the 10-ball ring game with Art Keck, Eric Fatboy Peterson, Shane Van Boning, and John Schmidt, Alex Peguline, and Louis Ulrich. So just to let you know who Brian defeated today in that ring game was George Breedlove, Truman Hogue, Brian Gregg, well, he didn't beat himself, but Louis DeMarco, Tony Coleman, and Shannon the Cannon Dalton. So I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors, Simonis Cloth, Syberts, and J.R. Calvert, and thank you for being here at Inside Pool Extreme Press Box. I'm Rachel LeBink. Good night.